It's time to tune in. Reno got the stats and the info. Rockin' with Flem and B Bad. That's my kinfolk. We got everything you need and some more. Report live with the sports. It's time for Uproar. 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 Uproar.
What's up? What's up? What's up? As always, you are live here in the 1912 studios in lovely Nashville, Tennessee, with the host, Reno Thompson, alongside my guy, my dog, my big brother, Flem. We are checking in with you all. Real quick, before you do anything else, as always, hit the like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Check in with us. Always stay tuned in with the boys as we bring you everything TSU sports and beyond going forward here, man. Flem, man, we got a good show lineup for this evening, man. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do our last little recap and thank yous and celebrations of TSU men's basketball. What an incredible run they had this year in year one with Coach Nolan Smith. We're gonna tap into some other news, some resurfaced news with Tennessee State playing their home games inside Nissan Stadium, what looks like to be again for the foreseeable future. We'll see what comes from that. But there's been some conversations about this being drummed back up from in the social media space, and then obviously spring ball is in session. Got a chance to run by practice, their first padded practice today, as it was, man. So getting some early looks on the guys, some of the new players that have come in, and gonna report back on just having all things like a Hall of Famer, a legend himself, Richard Dent, being heavily involved with his advisory role as well too, man. So we got a good show, man. But before we do anything else, man, how's the day going for you, man?
Oh man, just another beautiful day in the neighborhood. We are coming off a weekend or a Friday where we saw the Tigers season was ended, and we had a lot of high hopes, and some of it was just wishful thinking, and then the story that's been resurfaced about where TSU Tigers are going to play football has really brought up a lot of comments, and we'll discuss that. But overall, man, it's just another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, man. And before we go really into it, man, just this Nashville weather, man.
Oh God.
We had this Saturday, if you know folks for a Big Blue Nation that's not in Nashville, it was 84, 85 on Saturday, and then the temperature dropped back down to like the 50s. I believe it was on Sunday, and then a little bit on Monday as well too, man. And it's like going right back up, man. So it's been a pleasantly good weathered March, which is rare for Nashville, man. But so I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, So we'll see how this summer turns out.
Yeah. So I mean, it was 70 on Friday, 80 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday, and Monday morning is when the 40 showed back up. So I mean, they really played with us this week, and then we're gonna have to on Thursday. And then it looks like it's gonna be cold again on Saturday. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
on
man.
a jogging suit. I don't know what to put on anymore.
Man. Just as I always tell people in Nashville, you just show up and step outside and see what it looks like, man. But look, let's get into it, man. Let's start with basketball. Like I said, this conversation for me, I want this to begin and end with not just to begin with the scoreboard. Obviously Tennessee State had a tough loss this past Friday against Iowa State. Their pressure and pace, Vincent just overwhelmed us. They did exactly what they did when they're rolling, which is they hit their threes, man. They hit their shots. But for me, I don't want to reduce this season to one bad matchup against a 2 seed out of the Big 12, and Big 12 basketball has been pretty good. They're right below SEC in basketball right now. But regardless, that's where they are. TSU finished 23-10 this year, won the regular season, won the tournament. Broke a 32-year streak. Coach Nolan Smith's first year, man. So a lot of good things to take home about. And I want to start with just his I don't know, this wasn't even the press conference. This was just his message to the team right after the game, and just, on how he addressed them and the emotion he had behind it. from that point, and his commitment and his being proud of them, man. But as you saw that, what were your thoughts on coach's comments to his team, and then obviously his comments to the press after the tough loss.
Yeah, so the game itself, we had a 1.7% chance to win the ball game. And on defense, it was all about our defense. And the only way we could win the game is the defense was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, we didn't just have an identity of what we wanted to do on defense.
Mhm.
We ball pressure a little bit, and then we pressed a little bit. And they went on a like 19-0 run. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of different. It just wasn't any identity. It just wasn't what needed to be done to try to win that ball game.
Yeah.
And then because we struggle on offense on X's and O's, so we hated to see the kids. Nkrumah and Lorik both showed up and said, we were going to be dogs, but they didn't get a lot of help. Harris had probably his worst game as a
Mhm.
Tiger, and so what can you say?
Yeah.
It's just your 1.7% chance of winning the ball game
Yeah.
with ESPN predictor. So
Mhm.
we just the season's over with.
It is. It is. For me, I was thinking about this. Um, I still feel that if we would have found a way in that first 5 to 7 minutes of the game to, and we were texting. Remember, we were texting about this. That we would have found a way to, I still say, attack them and get them to foul. I think we had a chance to at least slow down the rhythm they were getting with their 3-point shot. Because outside of that, it's like again, if they're cooking, they're cooking. So, you're hoping that you're cooking too. And I just don't like playing that game. And it just didn't seem like we never found a chance to really just continually attack them. But all in all, for me with this season, I thought about, is this a breakthrough? Is this just a one and done, or is this like a true standard of what to expect going forward? And um, I'm going to lean towards a breakthrough on this. I'm not going to say it's a standard just yet because again, it's just, even though this happened in the first year with Coach Nolan Smith, this is more of a breakthrough where okay, we got something in rhythm to build towards. But to me, it's not a standard until you do it, 2 years in a row when it comes to winning your conference, getting to the tournament, ultimately getting the dub in the tournament as well too. So for me, I just saw this more as a breakthrough. But did you see it as a breakthrough, or just this is a one and done because we're gonna have to figure it out again to get another point guard, get a big, all that kind of stuff right there, or do you see it as a standard?
Yeah, well, no, it's definitely a breakthrough, one and done, because he only recruited one kid. He
Hmm.
only had one kid on the team
Yeah.
that he recruited or brought to the program, because Nkrumah and Harper and those guys were already here.
Hmm.
So he has coaching X's and O's is one part of it, and I'm still questioning his X and O's offense, because we don't have a lot of open arrangement for players.
Hmm.
We had some ball players that just could put the ball in the basket this year. So he has to recruit at least probably about 5 guys.
Yeah.
You know, and so I didn't understand the conversation him leaving. He hadn't really, he had a, we interviewed Coach Penny Collins.
Mhm.
Probably had his last interview as the Tennessee State head coach,
Yeah.
and he talked about him being excited about this team because he knew he had Lord Harper and
Mhm.
Nicole. So yeah, so coach is has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of maturity. We talked about some of the things that we saw on the deficiency side, and it showed up against Iowa State. But he had some individual guys that could overcome it. So yeah, it's definitely a breakthrough.
Mhm.
It's definitely not a standard. He has a lot of work ahead of him
Yeah.
because he has to recruit basically a new starting five. If Lord stays, he's a junior. If Petrie stays, he's a junior. We don't know that yet. You know what I'm saying? We don't
Hmm.
know if the resources are there to keep those guys. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was told at the game that, a couple of the families were talking about, go get yours because we don't need to get the bag. That was actually saying it at the game. So,
Well.
I don't know if these guys
Yeah.
are going to be here or not. It's all about the bag in college sports now.
Yeah.
And we talked about it at length about Tennessee State not having the bag. And so we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. He might have to put together a whole new team for the
Yeah.
fall of 2026.
Yeah. I said, hope not. We'll see, man. Let's take this a level higher. Because sometimes getting there can change more than just the bracket line. It can change recruiting. It can change donor belief, fan engagement, the alumni's energy, how seriously people take the program. So with Nolan Smith's first season, he did a lot to get to that point, right? So how does this tournament berth change perception right now?
Well, and the perception is that we can do it
Yeah.
and we can win. This OVC Big South Conference is not what Curtis Davis and those guys did. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If you're not having to play Austin P, Belmont, and Murray State, you
Hmm.
should be winning this conference every year.
Okay, MTSU too.
Yeah, MTSU
They,
or
were-
Western
they,
Kentucky.
yeah.
All those guys have come through this
Hmm.
conference. So now, you have guys that, teams, like Morehead State that doesn't have a football program, or no, they have a football program, but I don't believe it's scholarship.
Yeah.
Uh, but long story short, the conference has changed, and the big blue bloods are gone.
Yeah.
So most people expect Tennessee State to win this conference. So just winning this conference, which was a great accomplishment this year, was great. It's something that should continue on because all the folks that you played against, I played against, that were big time,
Hmm.
have now gone to FBS, and they have grown their programs.
Yeah.
And
They have.
yeah, so they're playing A-Sun basketball. They're playing, MCC basketball. So
Yeah. Conference USA.
you can say, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Tennessee State should be winning this
Yeah.
whole platform.
Yeah. I'm there too. For me, it changed the perception, obviously for the positive, which it should, and it's my hope that um, you know he's able to capitalize on that, and capture that energy with what's needed to maintain what he's done in year one. Because what you don't want to do is something that happens all too often in sports. Um, as they say, the sophomore slump, right? You have a great first year as a freshman player in your sport, um, and then for whatever reason, sometimes because you don't put in the right work to improve, or you put in the same work as you did last year, not understanding that you have to still work even better than what you did last year because you should be smarter, so you need to work differently, right? So it's my hope that from the perception on his side, like he's able to capitalize from there. And then I'll just say from the fan side of it is, you get a taste of this, so now it's on the fandom to lock in early with them, uh, grow that home court advantage for that team. Make Gentry a tough place for people to teams to come in and capture a win. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I'll say on from there. And this is a question for you: which part is most important to sustain for you for this team next year? Guard play, culture, recruiting, or just the general just expectations of it? Which one would you say is like the most important one to maintain or sustain for next season?
Oh yeah, well, Coach Smith has to recruit. He's going to have a front court, we believe, with Lork and Petrie, but we don't
Mhm.
know because the climate of college basketball
Yeah.
is with NIL. These kids all leave, so he has a lot. I mean, the culture. The culture. These kids stayed after Coach Penny Collins left.
Yeah.
But he kind of left late, so we don't know how that affected the situation. But
Hmm.
he was able. He had some good ball players that he was able to lead uh, to this championship. So he's going to have to get some kids, and he's going to have to show that he's connected in the basketball world and get some of these gems, and to come to Tennessee State not with a
Yeah.
lot of resource.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying not with a lot of resource. So, um, yeah. So culture, he's gonna. I think he's established that. He seems like he's a good coach, and the kids, respond to him, and that's great. But he's gonna have to recruit. He's
Hmm.
gonna have to tap in
Yeah.
and get some kids that are willing to play, basically for the love of the game or just cost of attendance, meaning their tuition and
Hmm.
board. I
Yeah.
don't see them having much more other than that. Where they, these other schools have pocket money. I don't see Tennessee State having pocket money.
Yeah.
As it currently stands. So yeah,
Hmm.
he's trying to get some basketball players on the rebound and uh, face a conference that has some resource. Some programs have resource
Hmm.
and are going to be trying to get better
Yeah.
from past year.
Definitely. Yeah, same. I'm not gonna say same. The number one is maintaining culture. I think because you're able to win this year with a team that was left there for you, that's a huge thing to get folks to buy in year one and to find that rhythm, which he was able to do. So I say maintaining that gives you the momentum for recruiting to now replace what you're gonna lose. Um, so for me, it's in that order. And then those are the two key things right there that I go with, man. So yeah, man. Like I said, that is where we are on basketball, man. But again, to Coach Nolan Smith and to the team out there, much congratulations for you all in year one. And shout out to those guys. It was a hard thing to have to adjust to your current head coach moving on to the NBA ranks, which is a great opportunity for him. And you're just rethinking through how things are going to go, and then you get a new coach come in because I'm a person who's dealt with a new position coach coming in during my time in playing football at Tennessee State, and it's an adjustment getting used to a new position coach, and I had to do it 3 different times. So it's an adjustment, man. So shout out those guys be able to do it and make it go from there, man. So any parting words before we move on to our next block, man?
Oh yeah, so I'm sitting here thinking about it. My senior year in high school, um, our coach was Terry Anderson over there at Antioch High School,
Mm,
and he left like 10 days before the first game, and we got Buddy Brown. All right,
mm,
so that's a big adjustment. We did not have a good senior season at Antioch. So then I come up to Tennessee State. I'm recruited by Bill Davis, and then of course he's gone the next year, and LC Cole comes in.
mhm.
And so what you're talking about, that adjustment is a big adjustment when you're trying to learn how to be a part of a system and then it
Yeah,
gets ripped away. So,
yeah,
like I said, Coach Smith did a hell of a job of getting those guys to buy into his program, but he also has a hell of a job now in front of him of replenishing the program with some pretty damn good ball players
yeah.
that are exiting the university.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we're gonna keep this thing rolling, man. We're gonna bring in Coach Ballard, man. Ballard, what's going on, man? How we feeling?
Man, didn't they tell you not to bring no guns to the gun show? You got your arms out, no
Hey,
sleeves.
hey, it's the first day. It's the first day of spring ball, baby. It's first day of spring ball, so we gotta.
Oh,
We gotta
late. Spring ball was on last week.
well, yeah. I mean, first day of pass. It was first day of pass today.
Okay.
First day of pass, man. So I
Get them out.
gotta get the flex on. Gotta get the flex on. Right,
Yep.
right.
Arrow
Man. So
Speed,
with
back Tennessee State. I see you.
yeah, man. So with that being said, man, look, we're gonna shift this thing to football. This stadium conversation matters in so many fronts for us as TSU fans. In 2026, we there was when last year sometime, I think there was an announcement that was in a Tennessee and somewhere in the local news media here in Nashville that it seems like TSU his leadership had agreed to another deal with Nissan Stadium, with the new Nissan Stadium or whatever as well too, man. So I know some fans were like,
That's
you
an
know, what
uproar.
they don't want us to get locked in to something that almost requires us to be down there at that stadium, right? I mean, so and then I know Flem, we were talking about this, man. You know, it was some new rumblings, man. So I'm a pass it to you to kind of set this stage on this, man. Like, what rumblings were you hearing about? With this new conversation on the stadium, was it an old article? Someone just resurfaced and just started discussing, or is this a new article that just brought out some more information?
Yeah, I really can't figure it out. But basically, it was a story that came out in the last 24 hours that Tennessee State had signed a new agreement with Nissan Stadium, and people were excited about it. And it was passed through a lot of the TSU social media groups, fan forum. I mean, excuse me, uncut TSU family
Mhm.
fan forum, and people were really, not happy
Mhm.
of that news. I mean, because you know, we've been to that stadium and know that stadium has done more harm than good. Um, you know, I don't understand what our administration thinks that playing in that stadium is a good thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've heard the grumblings,
Yeah.
but that goes back to Monday and Friday, Bather. Them folks don't want to do no work Monday through Friday. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to do it, and whatever falls in their lap, they want to shove it on top of the people and think we're going to accept it. And it's just, and I talked to it, even with this Jackson State game. This Jackson State game is really going to be a disaster just because
Ah.
we don't have what it takes to take care of those people. We don't have what it takes to take care of 25, 30,000 people. We just don't have it. It's just a skeleton crew. They don't listen. They're uninformed. They haven't visited these platforms. And then game day is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. So, hey, I don't know why our administration keeps doing these decisions and keep making these decisions and keep going down these roads without input of the people they want to leverage to support. But if we sign another deal with Nissan State, even though, we've talked about Mr. Tucker, President Tucker, and his $100 million campaign, and it clearly says new stadium on that
Yeah.
platform. I mean, you've seen it, Reno, right?
Yeah. Correct. It's there.
Yeah, it says new stadium. For us to sign another deal with a stadium when we get nothing but less than 5,000 people. I mean, the last if we had 2 or 3 games last year, they had less than 2,000 people.
You said we could have played in some high schools or something.
I mean, bro. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this is just it's disastrous. I mean,
This is what I'm wondering. This is what I'm wondering with this. Is it just something that's standard that if you're gonna if you can't have games on your campus, that you like the standard of business that you gotta sign a deal, and maybe the deal just allows us the flexibility to not be totally locked in for 15, 20 years or whatever it is, because I think the last one truly had us like locked in. So my thing is this like a deal that just okay, yes, you get to play your home games here, or is this like a no, like you're stuck here and the only way you get out of this is if you gotta
You pay
you
a
know,
fee or you
buy
pay.
your way out of
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
I like to think right now, until we find out more information, I like to think because for my mentalness, I'm going to believe that it's the first. That
Mm.
this is just something you technically just got to do as a business move because you got to contractually sign the papers, but
Where
you're
was we
not
gonna play
you're
at?
not
We didn't play.
right, right. We ain't had no other choice. I mean, because
No. I mean, you can say that you didn't have no other choice, right? but you also can understand how many people you have come to your games.
Mhm.
And you don't sign your life away just because where you are currently. But that's why the Monday through Friday situation is, I mean, we don't have a very good athletic department. It just is what it is. We just don't have it. And so we got to stop faking like, okay, yeah, we went to the tournament. They won the conference. Great. Look at the attendance. Look at the attendance of the games.
Mhm.
Look at the attendance of the football games. Okay, when you play your conference, because the only way you can win a championship around here is win your conference. So your conference games are the only thing matter. Yeah, you had a decent crowd with A&T. Yeah, you had a decent crowd with A&M. You had a decent crowd with Howard. But guess what? When you play in your conference, it was trash.
How was the girls this year?
Oh,
Girls didn't have a good season. They didn't have a good season. Yeah, they didn't have a good season.
nope.
They struggled.
Was it talent or was it coaching?
I didn't get I did not focus in on women's basketball.
But
so
that's because we didn't see them either, though.
Yeah, only focused in on men's basketball from that standpoint. So yeah. So it's but only thing I can tell you off is what I saw about it. Say that again.
How the spring gonna look?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But, I'm saying in relation to the stadium and to, like you saying, Flem, we don't have the Monday through Friday. Are we trending upward? Or are we trending?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you make a so let's think about this. I'm gonna do a timeline for you guys. Okay, a timeline. What I couldn't figure out when this story was actually posted, right? But we do remember, and me and Reno talked about this earlier. We do remember when the stadium was, being announced or talking about groundbreaking or whatever it was. Dr. Glover and Mickey Allen was down there, basically saying, we finna get a new stadium. That's basically what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? And that was a few years ago back. So now this story has surfaced, okay? And at the same time, why it surfaced, the current president has on his $100 million campaign new stadium. Okay, so that's what he has on it. You know what I'm saying? We have the information. So how can this story come out, right, and not have an official word from the administration?
Right.
Just explain to us. We can't never get an explanation of what's going on with that.
So we could buy in.
Yeah. So okay, do we have another 30-year deal? Okay, do we have a deal while we're building the new stadium?
I'd be upset if we don't get back in there for 30
Man,
years.
listen, on Family Uncut TSU, it's about 30 comments, and all of them.
What's the Family Uncut? I ain't heard that.
Yeah, that's on Facebook.
That's
I ain't gonna lie. That place there, boy, they get real hard and heated in there, man. Sometimes from my perspective of them, like I think sometimes someone can drop something in there that hasn't been fully vetted and people still snap. So it's like you gotta be mindful. Like if you're reading out of there, just be mindful that stuff don't be fully vetted sometimes. People just see it and just start going off.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, everybody. I can't say everybody. Okay, let me take that back. A large percentage of those folks that were commenting were very disappointed in the information. And they should be. But that's why we keep talking to our athletic department, like, give us information. Like, make a press conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, these stories should not dictate your department.
Make a story about it. Like, hype it up. Sell us on it, because universities now, Reno, I know you probably seen this earlier. I was gonna send it to you because we already talked about this. The new blueprint for college universities are media companies, bro.
Yeah.
These athletic departments and these colleges are going all in on these media companies and keeping everything in-house and telling the story of the, partnering with Netflix to do documentaries on their programs. And Tennessee State, we've been saying this for about 15 years.
Yeah. At least
Can I add another
now
one?
Everybody's on it, Reno.
Yeah.
I'll add another one. It's marketing and media. It's more like marketing communications is what it really is. It's not just media. It's everything. So
they talking about doing like reality shows on campus.
I ain't talking about that. Like this.
Like,
I'm not even talking about that, Bather. I'm talking about I forgot. Was it?
Wait till Vandy.
I think it was Utah. I think Utah is now. I think they're with the company who basically bought their debt, right? So, they bought their debt, right? So they're going to basically run the machine of them, right? So it's like, for instance, if they're making 15 million a year in just football, right? But their expenditures for the next 2 years might be 80 million, right? Because they built a new facility and they added this stuff, right? So these marketing communications companies are choosing some of these schools, right? And basically saying, okay, here, we'll buy this bad debt for you, right? And then we'll just run the business together. We'll run that machine alongside with you all, and we'll just split profit. So it's like people are starting to do stuff like that now, man. It's just like, man, you better. This is now time to think different, and it's gonna take individuals at Tennessee State who truly experience something beyond the academic level. And you're going to have to place people in these spaces, and then they're going to have to experience it beyond just.
It's all right.
I'm going to say this: experience it beyond Tennessee State as well too, because you still have a lot of that the bulk of their time.
Outside of that,
right? So when it comes time to really make adjustments, you only seeing what's right here, but you need to be able to see beyond what's right in front of you, and it's a muscle that it's going to have to be forced upon folks to understand, man. But it's the opportunity is there.
Flem, set me up with the president. We even had that talk.
Hey, so
I'm ready to go give my pitch, Coach. I think
hey,
get me in the room, Coach. Get me in the room. Hey, First Sergeant's office. I don't owe no tickets. I paid all my fines. I got my
right.
You feel like I got 2 degrees. Right. I got a master's. Can I just talk to the president? You feel me?
So that's crazy you say that. So Reno just talked about all the opportunity, right?
It's a bunch of opportunity. Yeah,
it's a huge opportunity, especially in Nashville, because Nashville, everything in Nashville is grown with Tennessee State or the HBCUs.
So we still got to hit that spurt. It's coming.
Well, the thing is, you just talked about the president, right? The president. And, Reno's met with the president. I've met with the president, right? We haven't seen anything from it. Okay. We haven't seen anything from it. So the thing is, the athletic department is a sales and marketing department.
100%.
You have to have sales and marketing experienced people to present value to then leverage for interest, sales, revenue, and they don't operate the rate. They still operating like they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. Excuse me. It's the same thing. And that's what frustrates us, right? We frustrate because we all live in Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. And you visit Nashville and you can see the growth of Nashville. We have no seat in any growth table in Nashville. It just ain't there. And so, even with the basketball team, right? Last week, that was Miss Fox. That wasn't the athletic department. If that was Miss Fox in her own mission to get recognition and to do something that gave it doesn't come from the people
that's inside
who are paid Monday through Friday to promote and garner interest in our program. So, hey man, and then this news came out about this doggone stadium. Lord Jesus, Lord, you can't.
So how do you
fix it? What that stadium's going to look like?
How do you fix it?
It's to make again. The fix is this.
I always say that. Though, so
I'll tell you. For me, the fix is this. You make a conscious effort to say, okay, hey, you say, hey, we have plans that are actionable to get us back on campus. And it starts here. And you got to be able to say it starts here, right?
Do you take questions or do you just give your blueprint?
No, you just give your blueprint. Just you present that and say, we're going to look to, with these markers, we're going to look to meet these goals by XXX dates. And we're going to trend towards this, right? That's what you say, right? For instance, I've had the conversation, and I know that they are trying to find a way to have a few of these games this coming season on campus. They're trying to figure it out right now for me, but it's like this. That's what I'm saying. So for me, I know that, but imagine if you put that out there, right? You can't be scared to put it out there. You got to say, hey, we're going to be aggressive and trying to make and to have at least a couple of these games on campus for the 2026 season. Do that. We're going to still be at Nissan Stadium and do all that kind of stuff there, but we are actively working to come back home. Why? It's so important that you come back home. For instance, in recent time, South Florida, home of the Bulls, right? They were playing all their home games at Tampa Bay Bucs Stadium. They playing all their stuff there, right? And even they struggled with getting kids, to show up to games and stuff like that. So it's like your alumni base is built through how the students experience it when they're in undergrad. So you got to capitalize on that. So your main thing is making it easy for them, right? So for me, if I know that you're making
students
very,
first,
very right, if I know that you're making strong plans to find a way to have games on campus this year, that's something that you need to be preaching. Because the more energy you put behind it, the more aggressive you are, and the more you're gonna stay on top of it. But if you keep it quiet and you never bring it up, and then you're worried about we couldn't figure it out. Okay, so what, you couldn't figure it out. But at least we know that you are aggressive in trying to make it happen, right? So for me, that's what I'm saying. That's how you rectify this to where folks know that this is not going to be a situation where we're stuck, at a NFL stadium that we clearly can't, show value in being inside.
We can't make any money from it. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why you have press conferences, right? That's why you have.
That's why I said you put something out. You do a little teaser, like a movie trailer,
or something.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Where you just don't let somebody just come out, and the guy's name is Chris, come out with this story, and doesn't have your situation or your understanding or reasoning behind what you did.
Yeah.
And it's happened all year. We got a new offensive coordinator. No press conference.
Right.
We have Jackson State coming. No press conference. We have FAMU coming. No press conference. It's just a consistent no communication platform that they continue to do that's been done for decades. And it's just time for it to stop. It has to stop. They have to speak to the people. And when I say all the time, they said, Derek, how does the program get back to where it needs to be? And I say a simple line: give the program back to the people. Period. You can't hide from the people. You got to leverage that you need. You got to come out and shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to go to the churches. You got to go to the barbershops. You have to go to the schools. You have to go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? And have 100 shirts with you, and give out 100 shirts at the mall, and give out 100 shirts at the little baseball park. You have to be the face. When I say you, I mean Mickey Allen has to be the face. He has to be the face.
You got to.
If he doesn't choose to,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the number one thing. Promote the program.
And I think a mindset shift has got to happen when it comes to, like, I know Reno said, we're going to be working towards this or this. Like, what about now? What about the people that don't have 5 years to get in? What about the people that, they've been waiting to come back and, hey, you think they did something, God forbid, financially or, health-wise.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta wait 30 years to play back in the hole?
Yeah.
Why we not thinking about those? Like you said, Reno, we gotta create that student. They gotta want to come back. So they experience need to be. Hey, I love TSU. We used to go to the games. We used to go watch the track meets. We used to go to the softball. You know, they used to have that big spring game, track meet, and softball all in one day. Remember that?
Yeah. The Boston Moon Invitational.
We would get through playing, then we would go eat, then we'll go check out the track meet. You know what I'm saying? Then the softball will play at the same time. Now you get to chill out. Like stuff like that, I remember because I was in the athletics and stuff, but we gotta worry about it now. Yeah. You gotta worry about it now. You can't take care of the future if you don't look on the ground and see where your feet at.
I mean, so what are they looking at to agree to any type of terms with the new Nissan Stadium, as you just put up on the screen, Reno? Like, what matrix? Like, can you think of any incentive?
The incentive right now is going to be this: obviously you get this new, updated, innovative game day experience with what's going to come with it. So a lot of the stuff that you get inside, NFL stadiums now, from how the game is presented inside the stadium, right? So you're going to get things like that. That's going to be good for the program, which will be good. I mean, we got our own locker room at this current Nissan Stadium, so we're gonna have our own one at that one as well too. So I mean that's an incentive for the players and the staff right there in itself, right there, for what that's worth. Outside of that, I mean, I think that's pretty much what it comes down to, is just the game day experience is going to be elevated because of what it's going to bring, and then ultimately financially, with the same deal that's in place right now in this current state, which is basically, I think they cover the costs for us to open the doors. I think it's what it is. No, it's not that. It's something where
the numbers don't line up. We don't make money.
We don't. But I'm saying it's something where it's the out of pocket cost isn't as much.
We couldn't have signed a contract, Reno, that we're not gonna make no money from.
So no. Hear me out. No, what I'm saying is, hear me out. What I said was this. I said that I believe that it's now. And again, this is out me knowing the full details of what everything entails. I believe it's just more so around that. Okay, we'll come down here. We'll play these games in the current state we've been playing them in the last year and a half, 2 years, in that same format. I like to think that if we can find a way to play a home game truly on TSU's campus, that Titans are going to give us. I think the dollar amount is $200,000 every time we don't play inside there. It's something like that, right? They'll give us those funds for when we don't play there, right? So
for real, that's not bad. 200.
Trash. Hey, listen up. Hey, hey, Reno, we hate for you to have to stumble and bumble with the shit because we don't know.
They said with the shit. There it is.
Yeah, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Right, we don't know, and it's because we don't know because they hadn't told us. And you did everything in your power as a president to try to bounce and bumble and nothing. We shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to do that. We should be reading what the contract is. It should be shared. It should be understood.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping and wishing, you know what I'm saying, as you are the president of our organization and you tried to eloquently give that you couldn't. And it's like that's what everybody's talking on social media. Like, how? Okay, so Hefner and Gentry did it the first time, right?
Yeah.
Howard and Gentry, Hefner and Gentry. Now, who's the only person left? Hefner's passed away.
Yeah.
So Gentry has to be around. When I mean Gentry, Howard Gentry. So why can't we get? We still don't have to. We still don't know what the original contract entailed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still trickles out from what was signed in the 90s.
Yeah.
So now we're in 2026 or 2025 or 2024, whenever it was, we still can't get the terms and conditions. I mean, come on. How? There's no other university that would allow.
No, we ain't nobody. They ain't gonna give us no terms. They just
we can't get terms and conditions. You're muted. You're muted, Beth.
I said we don't get no terms. They gonna get that little clause in there. They're gonna be taking your money every month. Take it.
I mean, this is insanity. We got we can play in a $2.1 billion stadium with average attendance less than 10,000 people. And you gonna tell me we finna make some money? I mean, how Jackson State, when they play their home games in the vet, right? They average 25, 26,000. They make $1 million every home game. Every home game. But, I don't want to say like I told you so, but I said, hey, why are we playing Jackson State this year in the old Nissan Stadium, right? Why are we playing Jackson State this year in the old Nissan Stadium? You need Jackson State to come next year in the new Nissan Stadium. Because if you're betting on Florida A&M, which we play this year in their place, or Alabama A&M in Huntsville and in Tallahassee, if you think those folks are getting ready to travel, like Florida A&M does not travel. They don't travel. They don't travel. I've been to multiple games in the last 3 years with Florida A&M when it was a
classic. Classic. They travel for the.
That was a 3-hour drive.
Yeah,
those are 3-4 hour drives.
Yep.
They not going beyond that, man.
They not traveling. They're not going. You can't open up next year with Florida A&M for the John Merritt Classic and think you're gonna get the same pop you finna get this year with Jackson State.
They better call who we can get this to do halftime show.
Better get Petey Pablo. Pablo
again, and that's why I have this discussion with my brother. I'm gonna shout him out. Shout out my guy Gerald Cook. We call him BA from Birmingham, Alabama. My brother from another mother, man. And hopefully he'll be making his way. Hopefully,
I talked to him. He said you ain't put him on the show
because I'm waiting for him to be able to share the good news first. That's why. So once he can share that good news, then I'm gonna bring him on. But yeah, man. So I'm waiting for that to be finalized on that good news for him, man. But we had this conversation, and he talks about it how he's down there working and coaching in the school system in Memphis, and he's just like, yeah, man, I got to deal with these arguments with these other folks at these other HBCUs, and we need to play these other HBCUs so we can have a better attendance. I said, Cook, we don't have enough fandom right now, and I'm like, if your whole strategy is depending upon you playing somebody else to get people to come out, that's not a strategy because you're depending on somebody else. What you should be trying to create is a home field advantage where you got 25, 30,000 of your people in the stadium, regardless of who you play. It should not matter. It should not matter. I don't care who they bring or don't bring. All I care about, do we got 30,000 there for a home game and them boys feeling that love? That's it. That's all I care about. Who's on schedule? I don't care.
How much percentage of it is it on? I know we said, it's on the AD and the athletic department, but like player coach wise, like should that be meeting held? Like should Mickey be like, listen, I need all my coaches in here. Listen, everybody needs to be promoting do they thing. Then the players reach out to the coach because I'm getting text messages from kids that are at smaller schools, and they sending me these fundraiser links, bro, about funding for their football team, and I'm like, this is the same fundraiser link that my kids is having to send out.
Wow.
There's no way that these universities are asking college players to reach out.
Yeah, that's bad.
Family.
Yeah, that's bad.
Are we at that point? Is what I'm asking you.
Come on, Bather. So what's
Lord Jesus.
So hold on, Bather.
Just support, so and so. I'm like, what? Y'all
doing? Like they're doing like crowdfunding. It's almost like a crowdfund.
Code, you heard me right.
Yeah. Hey, Bather.
And then they gonna get a percentage, and I'm just like, So I ain't seen no head coaches on Instagram. I ain't seen nobody doing no content like, hey, get ready for the season. I ain't seen that from not one. Like I said, I didn't see. Shout out to the girls coach. She's a great player back in the day, coach. I haven't seen her visually on social media.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
program. I don't know what I don't know what's going on right now. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what.
Go ahead, Flem.
And I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Okay, I talked to Johnny Cole last week. Okay, Johnny Cole. You know what I'm saying? The Cole brothers, and we both had the same conversation because we talked about how the HBCU ADs let HBCUs down. Okay, they focus on small ponds and they don't have the abilities to create or to go fishing large ponds. Okay, that's just what it is. Reno, how many times have I talked to you about Tennessee State is not going to be saved by people who went to Tennessee State? How many times have I said it?
More than enough.
Okay, because it's not going to happen. And so when we were doing our things at Tiger Paw with Coach Rod Reed, 4 out of 5 top donors, I mean, 5-figure donors, 6-figure donors, those donors never went to Tennessee State University. Okay? They were Rod Reed supporters and loved Tennessee State University and wanted Rod to have success. And he was supplemented by a lot of folks who didn't go to Tennessee State. So when I say that about a lot, we keep hiring athletic directors who only can fish in catfish ponds. Okay? They can't go to the big lake and fish for trout and fish for crappie and fish for brim and salmon. They can't go to the ocean and fish for mackerel and marlins and sharks.
Yeah.
They stay in the same spaces thinking that more revenue is going to come, and it's just not.
Yeah.
It just only affects the head coaches who are only there for X's and O's. They're not there to be generating revenue. They're there for X's and O's.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Ballard, coaches should be doing X's and O's. You have a full-time staff of marketers. Tennessee State has a marketer in their athletic department. They have an SID. They have an associate athletic director. They have all kind of people, and we don't know what in the hell they're doing Monday through Friday when it comes to generating revenue. It just doesn't happen. But Tennessee State's not the only school.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, man. Woo-wee. Like I said, more to come on this, man. We're gonna keep this thing rocking and rolling, man. We're gonna transition into some of this spring ball. Like I said, I had a good chance to go by, catch up the first day of padded practice for the boys, man. And
my bad, dealing with the baby.
No, you're good, man. We like I said, we're getting the spring ball, and the future is going to start with the first day of pads as we saw today. Just we're going to rehash a little things, and then the last 2 months here. Remember, Matt Leone, offense coordinator, he came in January. Calling him, he's a coach with a great track record developing high-powered offenses. This staff also added Makunder Duwandone. He's offensive line coach. Obviously, Dexter Jackson, he was announced that he was promoted to assistant head coach, defensive backs, passing game coordinator on defense. On top of that, obviously, big Richard Dent joined as a special advisor, Coach Reggie Barlow. He's bringing his Hall of Fame credibility, and he's bringing a lot of that I'm gonna say it like this, that no BS of the TSU culture of what we as the boys knew, that Annette Lerks and leadership mix right there. Also, I don't know if I can announce it yet, but we have a new cornerbacks coach as well to the staff. I'm not going to announce it yet because I got to wait for it to come through their end of it first. But he's one of us, a great cornerback that played at Tennessee State in the 2010s. So excited to have him coaching as well too, man. But again, I was out there, got a chance to just look at inside run, look at one-on-ones. Went through some.
Reno, drop the good news, Reno.
Yeah, man. We ain't gonna get no press conference.
Come on,
So,
man.
I mean, what the hell are you talking about? You know, where you think how we gonna find out?
You can say allegedly. You ain't got to say like it's for sure. Like,
I mean, goodness gracious.
So I say like this.
According to my sources.
So according to my sources, Terrell Bonds is now the new corners coach.
Wow.
A really, really, really great DB for us here at Tennessee State.
We had him on the show too.
Yeah, had him on the show. Back in I believe it was August, as it was as well too. Like I said, long career in the NFL he played with the Ravens, played with the Dolphins, played some Canadian League ball too as well too, Winnipeg, them as well too, Blue Bombers. So inside sources tell me that he's finalizing the deal to be the corners coach. So it'd be good to have him again, and especially somebody like Terrell, man, because Terrell is 5'10". Terrell went undrafted, I believe. Yeah, Terrell went undrafted, and he still had a really solid long career. I think Terrell ended up playing 6 years in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
5 or 6 years in the NFL. So again, like he had to play right. Athletically, he still had it all, but again, it's like at that size, you got to play right, and he did that, man. So good stuff there, man. Good stuff there, man. Outside of that, again, his first day of pad practice, I'm more so looking at just guys' attentiveness to the coaching, guys' adjustments to what they're seeing on the fly, getting the stuff, man. So I mean, they definitely looked the part there. Again, it's spring ball, so legs, so legs are still fresh. I guess as well too. So yeah,
how they look coming out of the locker room?
Oh, I didn't get there until after they were already finishing up Indy period by the time I was able to get there. So I basically saw from the end of Indy period clean to the end of inside run and one-on-ones in passing game as well too. So I was out there for about a good hour in between there. Seeing Dent on the field and folks who know Dent know that he holds no tongue. So there was a play where one of our DNs in team period got reached, man, and he's just like, your lineman is not right. Let's fix that. He's handling it, and he's handling it the way that it was handled to him when he was a player. So keeping that foot on him from his perspective, and doing again like he's attacking us like he did when he was a player. Like he ain't letting up, man. So it's I think him being out there is gonna put some of those players in the right mindset, which is gonna be definitely needed for the upcoming season.
So the thing is, and that's great news, that that we're trying to get some things happening in spring ball. I'm just happy just to have spring ball and just to have the repetition, what I'm saying, practices. So regardless of what's going on there, it's something we hadn't had a real chance in the last couple of years. The big thing is that we have to try to promote, the season now, because a lot of programs are now have season tickets available, and I hadn't seen that with our program. With season tickets being available, and then of course we're going to do some things for blue and white game. So once again, you have to promote the program. We got a weekend of blue and white, and so it coincides with what spring was going on in the field, what's going on with fundraising, what's going on with generating revenue. It should all be married. It should all work together. So hopefully, in the next couple of days, we'll see that type of platform.
Yeah. Bal, I'm gonna go to you on this, man, from a distance, because you truly are from a distance on this. As you're somewhat watching spring ball from a distance, what is the one thing you want to hear first? Do you want to hear that tempo is at a certain level? Do you want to hear physicality is at a certain level? Quarterback command or defensive edge? Like, what's the one thing of all those? And if it might not be one of those, but what's the one thing you want to hear from when you hear news about spring ball?
I want to hear that. I mean, it's not none of the things you said.
Okay. So it's not tempo or physicality and defense. Like
I want it to be the roughest 6 weeks of they spring, bro. I want them boys to be going through it. I want them to be. It's pledge season. They pledging the boys right now.
Yeah,
you feel me? You feel me? I want them up early in the morning, and I want them up in the afternoon. Still get the kick. Shout out to the Greek weeks coming up. I still want them to get that experience. But I just hope this is the roughest 6 weeks they ever been a part of.
So you want the standard.
I just believe in going through the fire, bro.
Yeah, you want the foundation of standard.
Figure out who you can count on, who gonna turn it on, who gonna turn it off, who the big babies are on the team, and who we can count on.
Yeah.
Because if you can get that established, you now know going into that summer who the leaders are, who's gonna be setting the workouts, who's gonna make sure everybody's straight, and we can get in these business in these meeting rooms, and Coach Barlow can get everything handled he need to get handled.
So Flem, do you think spring is more about just teaching systems, or would you say it's more about establishing standards?
Yeah, so both for this actual particular coaching staff. I mean, they've been here less than a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're having to fly the plane and build it at the same time. So they got to get in new ball players. They have to put in a system. They got to create culture. Normally culture comes through some of the players that you have in your program, but these kids haven't been in the program long enough to extend extend that culture from the coaching staff. So you got to pick kids that might not be as talented but are high character, and then the high character kids, you got to try to make sure that you can put some funds in their pockets, and that's a struggle. So, man, I mean,
it don't sound good over there, huh?
I mean, it's just one of those things where, man, you like Coach Barlow, man, you got a huge task. When you was in the pro ball and the kids were, your players were being drafted for you, they were going to show up because they get paid. And now you're in this situation where nothing is going to be easy. So you just got to try to just do the best you can. So that's what he got.
Yeah, man. So do real quick here. We, like I said, for the folks listening in and watching us live right now, the question right now that we have going on is, I'll go back to the top question that I asked Battle on this one. If you're a fan, you all are fans, you watching from a distance, what signs do you want to hear about this team coming out right now in spring ball? Do you want to hear that tempo is good? Do you want to hear that physicality is good? Do you want to hear that, the defensive edge is there? Tell us in the comments, what do you want? Tempo, physicality, edge. Like, give us your thoughts on this, man. We want to see.
I do want to know who the quarterback is, Reno.
Oh, yeah, quarterback play, because we got 2 that came in. So, like I said,
so Flem, my bad, Reno. Remember I told you I had a quarterback that I was trying to get to the school, Reno, remember?
Yep, I think so.
Remember I told you I had White Lightning, right? State champ. Guess what? Who picked him up?
Austin P.
University of Maryland.
Wow.
Not good enough for TSU, but Maryland's second string quarterback.
Wow. Well.
Now he's getting paid. He was about to come.
Hey, it's a tough one. Say what? That's all we can say, man. Say, well, yeah, that's where we are with that, man. I'll say this, man. For me, again, it's spring ball. You're not looking for anything perfect in spring ball. It is from a player standpoint.
Reps.
I want good reps. I want your mistakes to be done at real time speed. And when you make a mistake, I want you to take that coaching and make the correction. I don't want to. For me, as a former player, I don't want to see a guy making the same mistake twice. And excuse my language, for damn sure, I don't want to see you making the same thing twice in the same day.
I want to see a lot of teaching too. I need to see that, like you said, Richard Dent stopping and going. Like, that's what's needed right now. You got time to go through the boom. There you go.
Yeah. It is, man. Well, okay. We got a comment that came in. Always concerned about the line. So O-line, and that is from the original verse 3. I believe that is right there. Shout out to the OG3, man. Shout you out, man. what B said. If anyone is going to quit, make them quit now. So that's that. I like it. I like it as well too, man. Shout out the original OG who called, chatting in from YouTube live with us, man. We appreciate you, man. Let us know where you're from as well too. Shout out to City. But it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Just to see how this thing evolves. Again, it is. I am every day. I'm out there checking in on practice. I'm looking for a tempo, and I'm looking for how well do you adjust to your culture, right? That's to me. That's what I'm gonna keep looking at.
This is what I want you to do, Reno.
What you need?
Next time you out there, I need you to go before you get on the field. I need you to take 1 minute, record your mindset going into this. Mm-hmm. All right, and then once you get off the field, just take you 1 minute and give me your exact fresh start from that same day.
Okay, I can do that.
Split both of those and bring them, and you bring them to us, because your mind changes, right? You got to document that.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
Like, come on now, if you're gonna be there.
I can do it. That's gonna be it. I'll knock it out, man. So yeah. Well, look here, man. Like I said, this is where we are, man. As always, like I said, again, we want to thank Coach Nolan Smith for his great start to this first season, and looking forward to him to now turn this into an expectation. Right now it is he's broken through in year one, which is great. Typically when people are successful, they don't break through till year 3. So he broke through in year 1. So now it's time to turn this into a standard. So looking forward to see from that, man. Any last parting shots?
Just shout out to the team. Shout out to the basketball team. Trying to make it happen. You can't really do nothing about 7 3-pointers in a row, and we ain't make one till after they hit 7. You feel me? That was a tough run. Maybe we could have fouled them early, something. But that was their best player got hurt, and then they went on a little run. That's a tough one, Coach. That's like we said. It had to be something like that for them to jump out on us.
Yeah, man.
And,
man.
It was fun.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good deal, man. As always, man. Tonight's conversation really comes down to just Tennessee State. Like I say, it's just a different kind of moment, right? Basketball put the school on a good national stage, right? They really did. Obviously, the ending wasn't what we wanted, but we'll see how it goes from here. Football is now stepping to spring. So as always, you're going to get more coverage of the football from what's going on down there and 3500 Johnny Merritt Boulevard. So, we're going to keep this thing going, man. So, yes, one season just ended, but another one is always around the corner.
We're going to do that too, right?
We got spring game coming up on April 11th, Legends game.
And I'm playing.
You playing?
Yeah, man, I got my jersey and everything. I'm over here stretching.
Hey, I thought you just bought a jersey just for the heck of it, man.
Oh no. I'm stretching.
I might not be able to play this year, Reno.
Say what, Battle?
48 years old, Battle. I'm 48.
My MCL down right now. I'm coming off MCL injury.
Oh, I'm 48, Battle. I'm 48.
I got it's workman's comp. I got to make sure, I can't be out there running and I'm really hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. Well, look here, man. Like I said, man,
I'm in the 8. I'm gonna get Reno 101. You know what I'm talking about? 101. I'm gonna shake it.
We on the same team. Hold real quick before we get out here. We're on the same team. So
we on the same team
because we got everybody
last year.
Everybody that's 2010 and back is on one side. Everybody 2011 on is on one side. So
old school versus new school.
So yeah. So it's like
I graduated 2011. I'd be on the new school.
Yeah, you out of there.
You
out of there.
Yeah, you bring yourself down here, Ballard. You bring yourself down here.
But guess what, Flem? He was supposed to graduate in 2010.
Oh, yeah,
okay. I had a red shirt year.
He had a red shirt, and he had a medical year too.
No, I only had 1 year. Well, that was a medical. I played as a true freshman, buddy. I started. Come on now.
Yeah.
No, I thought you only did like a couple games and you didn't get burnt by that.
No, I played 8 games that year, buddy.
Hey,
they
I
burned
weighed in.
Burned
my 16 this morning. I got my 3 miles in. 216 this morning. Yeah. When I come in a couple of weeks, I'll be about 210. 209. I'm playing slot. I'm Hines Ward, and hey, I'm cooking.
Man, if I get cleared, I'm in there.
Good deal, man. Shoot, man, this is what it is, man. As always, we appreciate y'all for checking in with us, man. It's Upward Radio Show.